So I'm developing a 5-minute drama basically, and the synopsis of it is a young protagonist who's female basically develops an imaginary friend, and it's not till the end of the narrative that you actually find out that the imaginary friend is modelled on her father, who has actually gone missing. So basically, it's kind of a slightly dystopian ideal and slash experimental narrative, but it's going to be quite focused on cinematography and also character profiles, so the script is going to be pretty heavy. So I wanted to just find out some of your opinions generally towards dramas and towards my drama in particular today. So the first question I was going to ask is, have you ever kind of watched or experienced an experimental narrative or something that's not average?
What, like a low budget experimental?
Yeah, like a low budget experimental kind of drama.
Yeah, I've seen many on websites like Short of the Week where they experiment with a lot of narrative ideas.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it just turns out that it is really significant. It does portray a really good meaning. You can tell that they didn't really have a sort of idea going for it, but eventually it turned out to have a really good meaning to it.
Oh.
Sort of thing. Yeah.
That's good. So in your opinion, what do you think is the most important aspect of a drama?
Narrative, I would say.
So the storyline.
To give the audience a clear idea of the narrative, what's going on, what's going on in a particular scene. Does it send out a clear message to the audience on what's going on and how you execute that?
Yeah. So, would you consider yourself an open-minded person?
Yeah, I'd say so. Others would say like the same, I guess.
And did you ever have an imaginary friend yourself?
No, I didn't.
Did you have any variation, like, at all?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, no.
Okay. So taking that into account, would you be interested in watching an idea like mine, like as a production? And do you feel that my idea has a sense of realism to it, although it is quite a distorted narrative?
Yeah, I'd say so. It depends how it's done and what the acting's like to make it seem more believable to people.
How do you think I could do that then?
It depends who you hire to be the actor, to act that they have an imaginary friend, and who is the imaginary friend and how they are like.
Well, it's nothing. No one's acting.
No one.
No one.
She speaks to nothing then?
Yes.
Okay. Well, it depends how she acts this out and makes it truly believable that she thinks there is someone in the room that is fictional.
So you think my emphasis on script writing should be quite a big part of it then?
Yeah.
So that...
The dialogue.
Yeah, so that the dialogue is believable. So, do you think by using colloquial language, like casual and formal language in my script, and by researching into children with imaginary friends, do you think that I could achieve that realistic touch?
Yeah, I'd say so.
And what target audience do you think I should be aiming for? What age group and what demographic?
I'd say either mid-teens, maybe. Because, like, most people just come out of their childhoods, they have a brief idea of what it was like to have an imaginary friend. But obviously, this is not a kid in this documentary. It's someone who's...
They're about 16.
Yeah, just in the middle of their teenagehood. Still living with that idea that they still have this imaginary friend from their childhood.
Yeah. Well, the thing is in my idea is kind of to make... she doesn't have the imaginary friend, like it just kind of comes out of nowhere one day. But the thing is it's going to be quite ambiguous, so the audience will kind of have to decide themselves whether it's been with her whole life, or if it hasn't.
Or if it's just come into her.
Yeah. But like my intention is to make it that because her dad has recently gone missing, she's modelled this she's like developed this imaginary friend as a coping mechanism for losing a parent figure. But yeah, no, I can see why you would say mid-teens, because I'm actually aiming for a more kind of slightly broader audience from 16 to 25, because I feel like the narrative itself, because it is a little bit ambiguous, and depending on how I focus on the cinematography of everything, it may appeal more to slightly older audiences, but I do see what you mean about teenagers. So would you think that I could kind of add change to my concept in general? Is there anything you'd suggest?
I'd say just like the cinematography and camera shots and how it shows the protagonist of the story, how this is affecting her. Is there a clear message that her father has gone missing and what this has left her with?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
How do you think I could do that then? Do you think I should just spend longer planning my storyboards and shot lists?
I'd say the script will be...
Yeah, the script is going... I'm going to do a lot of research for the script, but in terms of my shots and things, do you think just planning my storyboards to a good degree?
Yeah.
And then...
A lot of close-ups of the character to show the
Yeah.
emotion in her.
Yeah, I was going to do that. I was going to do some point of view shots as well from the character when she's speaking to her friend. So you see that she's speaking to nothing.
Yeah.
And like, in your personal opinion, like, what makes you lose interest in a drama when you're watching one?
Not knowing what's going on, leaving the audience lost. So if the action is not believable, maybe, or we're not given a great in-depth idea on the story, if it's not told to us in the first couple of minutes.
Okay, so you quite like to have an understanding of what's going on in the narrative to like an extent. So how do you think I could do that with this?
Maybe have like another family figure, not the father, telling her how her father's disappeared and all this is her finding out, and then it cuts away to a few weeks later, sort of thing, a few weeks after her father's disappeared, and it shows how she's coping.
Yeah.
And then...
Because my original idea is to have it so that you start off and she's going to be having like breakfast, but it's just her in the room, and I was going to have it so that she is talking and she's like pouring 2 bowls of cereal, but the camera kind of slowly pans out, so you don't realise until like the kind of last couple of minutes of that scene that she's just kind of talking to no one.
Yeah,
and then
works.
And then I was going to do some point, because there's going to be a chair next to her, because there's going to be a lot of emphasis on primary colours, so I'm going to use like a red chair. I'm going to do point of view shots with the chair and her, so it's going to be like her asking the chair.
It look like that there is someone in the room.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah, so it's going
to put the audience in the position the character is in.
Yeah.
That works. It's very constructive.
Yeah, because I thought it would... Like, another way of making it believable, I was thinking of, just having it so that the protagonist is asking lots of questions to the friend, and she's, like, going along with it, like, yeah. But the way you find out as an audience at the end that her father's gone missing is she's going to be walking her dog in the park, but there's no dog there, she's just dragging a lead along the park. And she's going to see a missing poster on like, a lamppost, and she's going to be like, oh, that looks like you, Dad, and then it's just going to cut, and then that's it. But yeah,
that's good.
So yeah, was there anything else that you could say or suggest? Or...
No further comments.
Thank you.